Oneiro 25 is a very small alliance. The biggest alliance on our map is Doomdragon. More important than the difference in size is their willingness to spend a lot of money in the game. We, on the other hand, have players whose gold comes mainly from the construction of Jamilas. Do we have a chance at all? At least you have to do something for chances. This includes early observation of the opponent. And that's where I see the gigantic quantities of AML-60 they build. And every time I look, there are more. Active reconnaissance like here by my F-16 stealth jet is important to be able to react fast enough. Then it starts. The target is my base closest to the river because the enemy can use his ships there. I did not record the destruction of the first 3 howitzers 2S7 on the way to my base by my F-16 Fighting Falcon. They really drove past the top of our bases without anti-air. I don't think they had a single real opponent on this map before who would have fought back. The last conquests, especially bases of Bastard and MTP, were without any resistance. In view of the gigantic superiority, they have probably immediately thrown in the towel. My goal: we will show how to really defend ourselves. In no time at all, I sent all units to the attacked base. This is really slowed down by the lack of fuel, but such a basic fight takes a very long time. Do not panic. The enemy's AML-60s are really used just as cannon fodder and don't shoot themselves. The real damage comes mainly from the ships. And it is a lot of damage. The first flag has already fallen. The attacker is careless and interrupts the attack for a moment as the next group of AML-60s has not advanced fast enough. Flags quintuple the armor of the defense towers. Now it's getting hard for the attacker, because these level 5 flags already have a good basic armor, which is now multiplied. I am very confident my flags can also deal quite nicely. Additionally, I use my rocket launcher tanks. They can do good damage from a distance. I just have to be careful not to get too close to the ships. The fleet lying in the river is already considerable. The opponent's groups are quickly destroyed, but the opponent simply brings more and more. On the other side of the bridge, there must still be a lot of supplies if they really dare to continue attacking this base. Their helicopters, of course, attract my Strela anti-aircraft wheel-mounted tanks, but I have to be very careful with them. I don't want them to become victims of the ships, nor should they come too close to the AML-60. Strelas should only attack helicopters and airplanes. Several groups of AML-60 are now standing in front of the base. I was tempted to simply pull the rocket tanks out of there, but actually I'm glad that he is sending in all these AML-60 in front of the base. The rocket tanks can't do anything anyway when they run out of ammo. So let them fire as long as they can and stay in front of the base. The attackers are decimated very quickly. In the meantime, the second flag has fallen, so it's time to rebuild one. My little detector helicopter also is allowed to fire on the small tanks, but of course it has only little effect. I bring in my heavy T-62 tanks, which came from far away. They should actually protect small, weak bases. Now they are used here. The AML-60s have a hard time with really well-armored units. So the T-62s are a good choice now. the enemy is constantly bringing in more units. So you can understand why others have got the creeps. But for my base, it looks very good at the moment. I am online to actively defend. Such an attacker should not have a chance. I also bring my light tanks into the game, Jamilas and Scorpions from the home base. They had a long way to go, but now they are here. It's simply a matter of shortening the fight and thus reducing the number of salvos of the ships. At some point, this opponent must also have reached the end of his reserves. But my little detector helicopter seems to irritate him. He is determined to attack it. So I move it to a neighboring base. The enemy follows and dies in the flak fire of the neighboring bases. After that, I send the small helicopter for repair. It can't do much anyway. What is unfortunately not visible in the picture and could only be guessed on the minimap, our player Alibaba has destroyed more of the enemy's 2S7 howitzers. Helicopters so close to my base are a provocation. My strelas quickly bring them down from the sky. But I have to take 2 hits from the AMS. The ship has an incredible range. The opponent is still driving around unprotected with his howitzers. He must know that we can see him through our bases there. So I send a group of Jamilas there. Even if I have to take the fire of the ships from the side, the howitzer is finished. The enemy won't let another howitzer go any further. Alright, then I'll come. Now only the ships are still effective against the base. After 20 minutes of fighting, I have successfully rebuilt one of the 3 lost defense towers and the opponent is leaving. This round went to us.